Hi guys, today's sales training is not so much structure or planned as just a concept of something new I'm learning that I want to share. And there's a number of y'all that might be able to go, golly, it's neat that you're on that journey finally. Here, let me help you because I'm miles past you, which is not random. That's probably very, very true. But a gift I never had, there's a lot of reasons for it. It goes classic child psychiatry, all that kind of stuff, so I won't bore you with that. But a gift I didn't ever really have or develop was networking. I was never great at it. And mostly because I viewed it as asking for favors and asking for stuff unearned. And that guy you made the sale to and then asking him for things, I didn't ever feel I had earned that through how I'd done the sale. Part of that was true. Most of it was my own mindset and my own psychology. If you've truly worked with someone, you've truly served them, asking them for those referrals in a solid and confident, mature manner is very easy, and they have a right to, and believe it or not, they want to give it to you. The hell of it is, if you can't get it right here, which is always my struggle, then it doesn't work. There's no script in the world that can overcome the fact that you feel nervous or insecure or don't believe. Even if it's something as simple as you're just taught, you stand on your own feet, you don't ask things of others, that's rude, whatever it is. But I notice I work with a high-end executive that I admire, that I'm impressed with, that's very successful, that if anything has the kind of attitude of there's only certain people I work with. Even if they advertise and everything else, it's just, I'm the guy. If that person looks at me when they're done and says, I like to work with people that are referred versus random ads. Is there anybody you can think of to give me on a list that I should contact about doing business similar to what we just did? I'll put my head down and think real hard. It's just bizarre. The line works. It has value. There's no reason we shouldn't do that. There's no reason we shouldn't damn near do that when we're signing a contract. There's no reason we shouldn't do it at plan review. There's no reason we shouldn't do it at budget. Every time we have a major milestone, signing the agreement, plan review, budget review, spec, job costing, closing construction loan, stage 1, stage 2, completion of home, 9 different times. And honestly, 10. You want to make it even 10? Initial presentation. Why not? Seriously, if your cojones are big enough, hey, even if y'all don't move forward, I do like to work with people that I have met, that I liked, and that have been referred versus just random leads. Can you think of anyone that I might be able to just send some information to that might be interested in what we talked about, be it now or down the road in the future? You know me now, know I'm not a high pressure, going to beat anybody up, but I do prefer to work with such contacts. I'd love to just be able to send some information. Is there anyone you can think of? I know a lot of us don't have the cojones to do that on the presentation because we're more worried about getting them down the path to sign, and it's probably true. But if you handle it right, my lands, can you imagine? I bet you get 1 or 2 leads off every presentation. You put the value of those and you start stacking them. And the real question is, would you really lose a sale? So those are all just ideas and things flowing with, but it's the confidence in self that makes it work. Now then, that wasn't even where I was initially going with this. The one I've started to learn in the last couple of years is long game networking in large, successful crowds. And I'll give you an example of what made me think of this. I got to go on a bucket list vacation. It's one I've dreamt of for years, and finally got to do it. Just got back a little over a week ago, but went and spent a week at Bachelor Gulch in Colorado. It's fanciest, nicest, highest end, costliest resort I've ever stayed in. Phenomenal time, loved it, and yes, it was 80% off, or I couldn't have done it even then. really was. But it was extremely cool. But I'm staying in a place that look, it was a slow time of year. That's why it was such a discount. There probably weren't 250 other people there. But I was absolutely the poorest person in this place. Not even close. I mean, for example, over half of the 500 quote-unquote rooms were residences and were sold and owned by someone. And they started at 10 mil. I mean, it was just, these were, I remember visiting with one guy and I was like, oh, so now do you rent yours out? What? He goes, no. I go, do you? And he goes, no, just my place to live. I go, oh, so you actually live there? And he laughed. He goes, 3 weeks a year. But, you know, can you imagine having $18 million invested in a place that just because, you know, when the 3 weeks that you want to go, it's there for you to go to? I mean, that's just stinking cool. But, you know, these are also folks you can't just jump right in and go, hi, you're rich. Can I take advantage? No. So, but what did work is I wasn't even thinking about it. I wasn't trying to make relationships. I wasn't trying to make contacts. I was there just for me. This was my dream vacation, my thing. So I'm hanging out and just visiting with folks and being real, but at the same time being very confident. People always come around and ask you what you do. And I tell them, and I don't say, by the way, you're interested. I just went through and had a good time and, you know, bragged about it a little bit and with just complete confidence. Well, end of the day, long story short, because you don't want to hear all my social times, I met about 5 very impressive people, and I met 3 families that I made solid contacts with. And solid contacts meaning 2 different times, sat down to have a beer with, and the conversation lasted over an hour. And usually together in a group. But by the end of the trip, not at my request or anything else, all 3 came to me and said, man, would you be interested in selling a franchise in the city they're in? Not for themselves, but because every one of them had a friend or a nephew or a cousin in a similar industry that might really do great with this. Can I get your information? The networking of bonding and building relationships flows for me the same way. Be yourself, be strong, and be confident, and it all goes with. The come around here, the end of both these stories, where I'm trying to go and what I'm trying to say, and it's not about me, because I've learned this from other people in all sincerity, and I haven't quite got it down yet. Networking works when the following elements come together. Complete and total confidence of self and product and value. And honestly, that's pretty much it. I mean, that's all the ingredients. If you walk in the room and you own you, and you know you. By the way, there is another element. That's the bread. Here's the insides of the sandwich. You have to actually care about them too. Probably first. Probably more importantly. Probably foremost. Matter of fact, that might be the sandwich. Now they really have to go together because a lot of folks, especially higher end people you're trying to link with, don't really care how confident you are if they don't feel like you care more about them first. People don't care how much you know till they know how much you care. But if you walk in with a presence, but you don't walk in with the presence pitching self, but walk in with the presence and then are asking about them, genuinely intrigued and concerned, my land's a Goshen. It seems to flow really, really well. Do I have proof and evidence? I've landed some pretty nice jobs in just the last 6 months to a year that I've started to figure this out and made some really good contacts. This is one of the first branches off into potential franchise growth I've ever had. Will anything come of it? I don't know. It's just 3 leads. But there's 3 strong leads with some very successful people nationwide that at least know our name now. So that was kind of cool. And I learned something from it. And I probably just wasted your time, and half of you probably didn't even last this long. But maybe there was something in there of value to you. Have a great day, guys.